Hey guys, BSSM update here. Today is November 17th. It's a Tuesday. And so this past weekend, on Friday, had a really hard experience. One of my really, really close friends who I love her. I found out that she was in a really dark spot and was actually trying to commit suicide. And I felt really like helpless in the situation because she's in a different country right now. So it's not like I can just like drive over there and help her. So like um, all I could really do was like try to call her or text her or like leave her some voice messages or whatever. And it was just really like I was like, man, like literally the only thing I can do is pray. And so like got some of our other mutual friends together and like had like a Zoom prayer meeting over her, just like putting it in God's hands and trying to rebuke the darkness and all the lies that are trying to control her in that moment. And it was really rough because like I don't even know what's happening because like I'm so far away, like just waiting for news is really hard. um um so anyways, eventually like she texted me back and I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. And she was like, hey, thank you so much for your messages and your prayers, like it means a lot to me. She's like, I'm so sorry I put you through that, like and like she was feeling really bad, like and guilty. And I was like, girl, there is no judgment, like I don't think less of you, like any of that stuff. And like because it's completely understandable, like this girl's situation, it's bad. Like lots of people have like rough circumstances, but like what this girl is like going through with her family, like she lives at home with her parents, and like, it's just a really bad, abusive, manipulative, neglectful, codependent, like all the things, like it's really bad. um it's probably one of the worst kind of like life situations that I've ever heard of. And she's young, she's just a teenager. So like the fact that she's like being like been put up with all this for so long, like she's really strong. But like, the devil's had like a foothold in her life for too long. Anyways, so all that happening and like I'm telling her like, hey, like girl, you got to get out, like you need to get out of the house. And she's like, I've never left the house. Like she feels like scared and unsure about like just walking away. I mean, like at her age, like she's actually like the main provider for the family, like providing for her parents. And I'm like, that's not okay, like you're a teenager. And so she feels guilty about walking away and all this stuff. um but that's not the point. The point is, I'm trying to like reach out to her and minister to her. And like what I'm trying to do is like I feel God like telling me like to treat her to like uh, a vacation in a sense, like booking an Airbnb somewhere, like taking a break from her family life, just like booking some time in an Airbnb, to get away from it all. Because like she literally just like had a really rough like trying to commit suicide, like so I know like the darkness is getting to her. I'm like, look, girl, you need to like take some time and like let God like minister to you and like talk to you and like heal you and like bring you into the light for a bit, because like you're in all this darkness. She's in the process of trying to find her own place, but like she's trying to save money first. She doesn't have the money right now because she's like a provider for her family to like be able to afford it. So I was like, look, I will pay for you to stay in an Airbnb or a hotel until you can find like somewhere else to live, because it is not healthy for you to stay where you are. And the devil is cracking down on her even harder than normal, because like she's trying to leave, right? And of course the devil doesn't want her to leave. He wants her to stay right where she is to keep her in that environment. Anyways, so I was like, I will pay for you to stay somewhere until you find your own place. She's like, I can't accept that, it's too much. And I was like, okay, well at least let me treat you to like a few days vacation to like clear your head and like let Jesus talk to you and like a change of scenery. And she's like, I've never left the house, like I don't feel comfortable. And then she feels like, I can't accept that, that's too much of a gift. I'm like, it's really not, like it's just a few days in Airbnb. But this girl, like she's so used to like doing for herself and being a provider, not people providing for her. And like not being able to receive because like even her parents don't give anything to her, you know. So like I understand why it's so hard for her. And I'm like, I've literally talked to her for several days, like, and like getting her to see that like it's not a burden for me to offer this to her. Like, and I totally understand how she feels because receiving has been hard for me as well. That she's saying stuff like, I can't accept that, that's too much. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like telling her, I'm like, you know, like it's actually a joy to be able to offer you something. Like it's a joy for me to like want to honor you and give you this gift, and to like help you and give you something that's going to benefit you and like help your life. And it's like I asked her like, have you ever gotten a gift for someone and you've been like so excited to be able like to give it to them, to see their reaction, to see like their face, and then like when you try to give it to them, they like turn it away and they're like, no, 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 I don't want that, or like take it back. And like that rejection is really painful, you know. So I told her like it's not a burden for me to like offer this to her, this actually a joy, and to like, and I'm imploring her to like allow me the blessing of blessing her, right? And I can see like the internal struggle. But anyways, literally um the next day after all of that happened with my friend, I go out, or not the next day, 2 days later on Sunday, I I go on a date, just a casual date, with this guy. And it's funny because like so, you know, I'm not used to being treated super well, and from guys and like in dating relationships. And so like I feel like God's definitely restoring that to me in this season, like showing me like what it's like to see godly men and like realize that how I'm supposed to be treated versus how I have been treated, and healing all of that. But anyways, like we went out to eat and he was going to pay for it, and I just felt like, oh, I should pay for myself, you know, like it should be equal and fair, like I can't accept that. And then like he got me a gift of like a scarf that he had bought for me that he thought I would really like, and I was like, oh, I don't deserve this gift, like oh man, like I'm gonna have to do something for him in return, I didn't get him anything, and like all these feelings. And then like he literally like sits down with me and he's like, Grace, and literally tells me almost verbatim, like word for word, like the things I told my friend, the girl. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I'm realizing like literally he used the same analogy of giving the gift, and like he told me a story about how he had like had this really great gift for his mom, and like how he was so excited to give it to her. Then she like felt like, because it was a really extravagant gift, it was like this expensive jewelry, and he was so excited to give it to her, and like how she was like, I can't accept that, that's too much, and like how it just crushed his heart because like he was so excited to give it to her. And like he's telling me all this stuff, and it's literally like exactly what I told my friend. And like the Lord is just like convicting me. He's like, Gracie, like what you see in your friend is like what I'm trying to do for you. And I'm like, oh, you know. And it's just like, because it wasn't like, it was literally the same, like almost verbatim the same words I used to give to my friend. And sorry, my dogs are in the background. Hey, shh. Come here, come here, come here. Okay. Anyways, so that was really like striking, and and it was really convicting. So I feel like it finally like hit me, like how much receiving has been difficult for me. Oh, hi. Um, are you gonna say hi or not? Say hi. This is Mistletoe. Where's she, girl? Say hi. This is my baby. It finally hit me like how bad the situation was. Like I didn't realize how hard it was for me to receive until like I was put in the same position to receive that my friend was, and how I felt when she wouldn't accept my gift to like uh, to let her go on an Airbnb vacation to get her out of the house. And like I was more concerned with her safety and her mental health and getting her out of that situation than I was concerned with like spending money on her. You know, like that wasn't my thought. I wasn't like, oh man, like I really have to spend all this money for her to go to an Airbnb. Like I was overjoyed that I had the means to be able to get her out of that situation, you know? And then like God's like saying like, Grace, like this is literally like this guy that's taking you out, like wants to honor you, wants to bless you, wants to show you how much you're worth, and you like putting up these walls and like not wanting to receive it. It's like you're doing the same thing that she is. And I'm like, okay, wow, thank you, Jesus. And like the way he did it was just so like I can't ignore it, you know? And so And here at BSSM, my revival group pastor and my third year, basically people that are like in authority over me to like mentor me and shepherd me, like they both have said that my homework is to learn to receive and to start letting people do things for me. And man, it's just so cringy and uncomfortable. And I know that that's coming from a root of like not feeling that I'm worth it. So, anyways, yeah, that's my update. That's where I'm at. So what I'm gonna start doing is like whenever someone offers something to me, I'm no matter how I feel about it, whether I feel super cringy and super awkward or not, just gonna grin and bear it and say thank you. And just imagine like, saying no, how much that's actually gonna hurt them and strip them of, the blessing and the honor of giving the gift. So I put this out here for anyone else who's struggling with receiving. Um, because if we can't learn to receive from human beings, like, small things like someone buying you a coffee or someone treating you to dinner, like how in the world are we ever going to learn to really receive like the free gift of salvation from God? Like that's a gift that we can never repay. Like when someone offers to buy me something, my initial thought is like, oh man, I'm gonna have to pay them back, or I'm gonna have to owe them, or like, like that's the cringe feeling. But God's like, no, like you don't owe me. You could never pay me back. So if I can't learn to receive in small ways, there's no way I'm ever gonna be able to receive in big ways and really, really experience the joy of my salvation. So, anyways, that is all. Peace and love. Save the whales.